Icarus Consulting has 41 clients across the globe, and I have conversations like this with CEOs, board of directors, the direct reports to CEOs, and I have to make this practical. So Dr. Norma talked about inclusion and the intentionality, and they say, well, they ask me all the time, so give me an example of what you're talking about, or more importantly, how do we know if people feel included? And I say, very simple, you ask them. You give an employee, you have an employee engagement survey every year where you ask your entire employee population to respond to questions, but there's not one question in there that says, I feel as though I'm treated with dignity and respect by my supervisors every day. You're entitled to that. Paul talked about grace and mercy. My goodness, if you're drawing breath on this planet, you're entitled to be treated as a creator, a person created by God, to dignity and respect. Ask people, and then when they will respond to you, don't marginalize their responses. When they've identified barriers to inclusion and the barriers that make them feel like they're not a part of the team. We just witnessed the Los Angeles Lakers win the National Basketball Association championship. You look at that team, they all wear uniforms. Did they all feel a part of the team? Did they all feel they were afforded the opportunity to contribute what their best skills were to the mission and the effort and the aspirations of the team? Ask people, they will tell you. And then when they tell you, respect them, don't marginalize their responses, and then act on that. I'm encouraging CEOs, boards of directors, chairmen across the country to listen, use this crisis as an opportunity for change, and listen and learn. Listen and learn. Oh, by the way, no one has said it, but let me say it directly. Diversity is not about counting people. It's about making sure people count. And I think we need to take that elephant in the room and make sure we're clear on that. As far as equity, I think an example is best illustrate this concept of equity that Paula and Dr. Norma talked about. Everyone knows that females today in 2020 earn 79 cents for every dollar that their white male counterparts make for producing the same results. Let me say that again. 79 cents for every dollar that a white male counterpart produces for producing the same results. That's unethical. That is unethical, and it's definitely not equitable. So I'm advising my clients, look at your pay equity practices. In fact, look at all your practices. Are there barriers to equity? I had a CEO that says, well, Shelton, I'm trying to keep the lights on. I'm trying to keep all my employees employed. I don't want to furlough anybody. So I think I'm going to have a 20% across the board pay cut. What do you think? I said, that's not equitable. He says, what do you mean? I said, you make seven figures. You want to, a 20% pay cut wouldn't have the same impact as a customer service representative working at CPS that may not be making, I don't know, but to ask a single mother of two, that's a person of color who's not making a living wage, to take a 20% pay cut is not equitable. Leadership should take the burden of the pay cut and protect the frontline employees. He says, I never thought about it that way. I says, well, that's why we're talking. So I just want to give some practical examples to these terms so that people don't think they're the same, because they're not the same.